Today we'll start with our new topic, that is DNA packaging in eukaryotes. In previous lecture we studied DNA packaging in prokaryotes, and now today we will discuss DNA packaging in eukaryote. Just remember a basic thing. In previous second lecture where we studied about the structure of DNA, we know the distance between two adjacent base pairs is 0.34 nanometer. So by this value we can calculate the total length of mammalian DNA within a cell. So what we will get? The total number of base pairs within a mammalian chromosome is 6.6 into 10 to the 9. That we will multiply with 0.34, the distance between two adjacent base pairs, and this value is in nanometer into meter. 1 nanometer is that surrounds around 2.2 meter. The result, if we multiply these values, and where I get that 10 to the minus 9 meter, as 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the minus 9 meter. 1 micrometer is equal to 10 to the minus 6 meter. So basically the length that we got into a mammalian cell DNA is 2.2 meter. So think this 2.2 meter DNA is get packed within the nucleus of the cell. As we know that in the case of prokaryote, this DNA was known as the naked DNA or nucleoid, as it is not enclosed within a membrane, but inside a eukaryotic cell the DNA is present inside the nucleus, but the nucleus in itself is around 1 micrometer in size. So how did this molecule gets fit into the nucleus? That is a very versatile process, and we will study the process of DNA packaging in eukaryotes today. Okay, so let's start with the topic. Now remember, the DNA packaging in eukaryotes starts with, if we study the interphase chromosome, which is not visible by the light microscope, but the electron microscopic examination of chromatin, interphase chromatin. The interphase chromatin is studied by electron microscopy and X-ray diffraction imaging, which was used by scientists Watson and Crick for revealing the double helical structure of DNA. The studies show astonishing facts about the chromatin fiber. These chromatin are the complex of DNA and protein. These interphase chromatins are made of a complex of DNA and protein, and the proteins are of two types. One is the histone proteins and another one is non-histone proteins. These are non-histone chromosomal proteins. So basically chromatin is made of DNA plus protein, and the proteins that are constituent of the chromatin are mainly of two types. One is the histone proteins and another one are the non-histone proteins. So basically histone proteins These are the molecules that are responsible for the packaging of DNA inside a eukaryotic cell. So now let's study in details about the histone proteins. Histones. Studies reveals that the inside a cell, the amount of histone proteins it equivalent to DNA. So first of all, remember that the amount is equivalent to DNA. So what does this data suggest? This data suggests that there should be some interaction between these histone proteins and the DNA molecule. Why I am telling that fact? Remember, the histone proteins that have as a constituent, these have two basic proteins. Basic means in the sense of acid base. Histone proteins are made of two basic amino acids. Which are lysine and arginine. The histone proteins are made of two kind of basic amino acids, that are lysine and arginine. They contain a NH3 group positive charge. So these act as an polycation. See, this is very important point. The histone proteins are made of two kind of amino acid which are basic, lysine and arginine. They have a exposed NH3 plus group that acts as a polycation. But in the case of DNA, we know that phosphate group is present that act as an polyanion. So in the interaction between histones and DNA, the polycations of the histone since the polyanion of DNA and the interaction occurs that causes the packaging of DNA inside a cell. That's why the amount of histones should be almost equivalent to that the amount of DNA. But the non-histone proteins, as I discussed earlier, the chromatin, which is made of DNA and proteins, the proteins are variously of two types. One is the histone proteins, another one is the non-histone proteins. So remember, these non-histone proteins, they are mostly acidic in nature. Beside packaging, the histones also play a very important role in the regulation of gene expression. They play important role in the regulation of gene expression. This regulation of gene expression mainly a histone function, which we'll study later in genetics. So now these were the fine properties of histones. Now get into the structure. These histone proteins are one of the most conserved proteins, conserved in evolution. These histone proteins are one of the most conserved proteins in evolution, as there is almost very slight difference in the histones. Now the type of the histones. Basically there are 5 types of histone proteins which are named H1, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. These are the 5 type of histone proteins, in which 4 of the histones are almost similar in every mammals. Okay, so these are told as these are almost conserved proteins in evolution. What are the types? H1, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. Total 5 types of histone proteins are present. Okay, and now what are the molar ratios of this protein? The molar ratio are 1:2:2:2:2:2. See, remember the amount of H1 is almost half of the rest of the histone proteins. Remember this point. The molar ratio of H1 is to H2A is to H2B is to H3 is to H4 is 1:2:2:2:2. Okay, the amount of H1 is half of the amount of the rest of the histone proteins. But these histone proteins are in sometimes replaced. In the case of sperm cells of various fish and other animals, these are replaced by another class of proteins known as protamines. What is the name? The name is protamine. In sperm cells, the histone protein is replaced by another class of protein that is known as protamine. This is very important for various examination point of view. Now, as there are very much regulated expression, these histones, the chromatin basic structural unit is nucleosome, which is made of linker DNA as well as the histone proteins. So this was the basic of the histones. In next lecture, we will study about the nucleosome and the supercoiling of DNA. Okay, nucleosome is the basic structural unit of a chromatin, which we will discuss in next class. This was all for the histone proteins. Okay, this is the very basic structure of histones and the perfect model for DNA packaging, which will continue in the next lecture. Thank you.